eyes light the corners of my mind. Keep what we just talked about a secret from everyone. Things that get stolen in this town always make their way to the curiosity shop. I'm waiting for that to happen. Stand on that crate and peek into that thing. I don't know what the last word was. From here, I check on the curiosity shop's customers. And you can see through. I always got the impression that Kafei in the original Japanese spoke very formally, just by the way it's translated. I could be wrong, but I get the feeling he's very formal. Mayor's son. That guy will definitely appear. I'll be waiting while it happens. When it happens. But yeah, he's kind of officious. He's not very smart. I get the feeling, you know, if this story was fleshed out, which it's not, you know, it's bare bones, but lag, that, you know, he would be a bit of a spoiled brat, actually. And I think that's the reason that Skull Kid, in his infinite pranksterism, like, he curses a lot of people in this. He curses you at the very beginning of this. He turns you into a Deku scrub, which you're not going to see. I remain a boy throughout this Let's Play, but you can turn back into that thing. It's kind of ugly, and it looks like it's got a hose for a nose, but yeah. Okay, so talk to Anju and show her pendant. Oh, did you meet him? Give me the pendant. Sorry, I've got now and then here and there on the brain, despite the fact that it's really depressing and it probably should never be stuck in your head. It's from Kafei. Thank you very much. I have decided to wait for him. I've made my promise. I'm fine with this. I believe him. And, yeah, so, if you'll ignore my terrible acting there for a minute, time jump? What? Yeah, she's gonna go to bed. And this is the secret cutscene I was referring to. It happens on the second night. And anytime you ever speak to her after that, that's all she says, those 4 lines. And it's a very firm conviction, I think, because that's really all she ever says. And you're gonna see how many times the situation changes and you think she should get upset, and she doesn't. And she kind of says that over and over. So it's interesting. And I think there's more emotional depth to that than it simply being a repeated phrase to save the script writers more time and energy. Seeing as physically she's put in a lot of situations and animations. This little crack in the wall I mentioned is actually going to come into play. Despite how many people I think have played through this quest, I wonder how many people know about this. This is a little secret cutscene, but it's very important to the story side of things, which is a shame because I think the dialogue's going to be rushed. See, everything here is falling apart. You can hear the voices next door. Now that's awful, but it's supposed to be Boston. Okay, Anju, we're leaving in the evening for the ranch. Crimea will take us in. She is your best friend, right? I wonder if Kafei is really at Cremia's place. If Kafei is there, your mother will give him a smack. That's her mother. Besides, think about Cremia. She needs strength from a partner and business support from Madame Aroma. If Kafei really has run off with Cremia, she'll get both. Please don't be sad. How could you possibly be happy marrying a man who runs off when he's about to be married? It would just make your life unhappy like your mother's. But in the letter it said he would definitely come back. Come back to what? Won't this town be crushed beneath the moon the morning after tomorrow? Forget about that letter. For now, just try to survive, and everything else will follow. Yes, Mother, thank you. Okay, we're about to have another jump here, but it's interesting, I think, you know, that there's the Fettle Witch right now. I think her mother has good intentions, but seeing as she was abandoned by her husband, who ran off with another woman, I think, is the implication. There's another dialogue she has later that I don't get to see here, but I think it heavily implies that her husband ran off on her. And what is that mysterious sweeping noise? Snape. Severus Snape. Dumbledore. No. I hear sweeping, and I can't... It's not in the kitchen. Okay. No. Well, I'll find it. But anyway, so... And I think that reveals a depth of character you don't see in a whole lot of games. That little hidden cutscene that not many people were going to spot. You know, Anju doesn't know that Kafei is a little bitty twerp. I mean, she doesn't know he was cursed. But he's just disappeared right before the wedding, and right before, weirdly enough, that the world is rumored to end. Time jump. As you can see, this is the final day. I skipped to the final day, and the moon is close, and the music is ominous, and it's sped up a little bit. And it's kind of creepy here. I'm not gonna lie. Coming back here to talk to Kafei, hopefully, because everything else is... But you ring the bell and nothing happens. You notice he doesn't pop out. So it's like, okay, well, is he not home? We'll find out in a second. But I think that reveals... The previous scene kind of reveals an interesting depth of character that maybe Anju would have suspected. Like, she said she couldn't go see him. Obviously, she doesn't know he's cursed. that he has run off with Crimea, who is her best friend, who runs the ranch. I get the end feeling Anju's kind of a wallflower. And, you know, you wonder if she thought other people were better than her. Huh? You the green hat kid? I got a message from Kafei. Now, Kafei, I've known him since he was real little. But when he showed up looking all young in that brat body, I didn't know what I was seeing. All it took was one glance at that Keton mask he was carrying for me to realize I was looking at my old friend. I gave him the mask a long time ago when he was just a little Kafei. Didn't know he kept it this long. I'm not sure why, but I want to give this to you. You got the Keton mask. This is Kafei's mask of memories. Accepting this keepsake doesn't make sense to you, but you take it anyway. Now, Kafei, he says he wants you to take this to his mother. Express mail to Mama. Customer came to my shop last night. Now, Kafei sees him, and Kafei's color just changes, and he goes running after the guy. Guy's a regular, greedy thief named Sakon. Sakon. I think he's from Akana village. I guess it'd be Sakon if you're pronouncing it in Japanese, but I don't know that they speak Japanese in Hyrule. They use rupees, and that's Indian currency. I don't know. It's a mess. I am wet. And my bunny hood did not save me from falling into the water. I cannot jump very far. As you may notice here, I run around trying to deliver this mail to Mama, but I'm unsuccessful. I can't seem to get a hold of the postman, and it's not necessary for completing the quest, so I basically said, "I'll screw it." But yeah, so there's kind of a weird depth to the whole, as far as the Zelda game goes. Her thinking that she was, you know, obviously it's just because he's a little bitty twerp and he kind of doesn't want to face, he kind of doesn't want to propose to her as a 14-year-old or whatever the heck he is, 10. And, but she would suspect, of course, that he's run off with her best friend who's living at the ranch, and she's going to have some pretty complicit issues with that because her mother was abandoned by her husband, and she's going to be pressuring her to, you know, retreat because the world is ending, you can't wait for this guy. And so, you know, she says, "Oh no, I feel like I have to wait for him," and she decides to trust him. And she has to repeat that phrase over and over, and I think she is actually really struggling with it, and there's the biggest evidence of that is going to come later. And again, that's a surprising amount of emotional depth for this little Zelda game. Or any video game, really. Even though the story is pretty bare bones, I think they did a really great job with Postman! I has a letter for you! Suck it, Postman! Fine, I hope you die and the moon falls on you first, specifically. Like that huge moon, you're the very first thing to touch a corner of it, even though there's no corner because it's round. Shut up. Anywho. So, if you caught that dialogue, his mask that he uses to propose, it's kind of like his engagement ring, he has found the greedy thief who took it. The greedy thief shows up in several subplots. This is probably the most important one, and he wants to stop said greedy thief from taking it away because, you know, he feels like he can't face Anju without that mask. So there's a lot of things going on here. It's kind of a complicated little random subplot, and I just cheated by warping because there's no other way for me to get to this at this point. I used some levitation to get some items before I'm supposed to have them, like this bunny hood and like this warp point. But I couldn't use, like, cheats to just get all the masks or all the items, because if you do that, then the game kind of thinks that this subplot has already been played. I'm in this Valley of the Dead place, by the way, that you're not supposed to be able to access until the end of the game, but thankfully I can levitate, and I just kind of floated here, originally, and set up the warp point so I could do this. Anyhow, so I bunny my way over here, and we find everyone's favorite little purple person. I think. Where is he? There he is. If you hear a weird noise, my cat is meowing at me over here. So, just to let you know, it's not from the game. I found him, Green Hat Boy. I have a name. He's using this place as his house for keeping stolen goods. He came to the shop last night, so I followed him. His storage for the things he's stolen is on the other side of this door. Only Sakon can open it. The only way is wait for Sakon to come back. I'll wait. I've made my promise to Anju. He will show up. I get the feeling he was very formal in the original Japanese, although I can't prove that. Despite the fact, and that would also, the Japanese find weird juxtapositions of, like, social position or age to actual, yeah, I'm cheating. Night of the final day, because he comes, Sakon arrives at 7 o'clock p.m. Skip. You know. And if he spots you, like, you gotta hide behind these logs. If he sees you, it's over. All the hard work you did, screwed. So, you have to wait, and it's kind of excruciating to wait for him, but still. Anyway, Duncan, shut up. My cat is still meowing. His name is Duncan. He won't shut up. So I kind of can't see him. I know he's coming. There he is! There's a little fucking heart. I hate you so much. You're the one who caused all this trouble, and why can't they be together? You know, that's 10 years old. And actually, when I was playing this, I swear my heart was going to leap out of my chest. It's really stressful. For some reason, I don't know why. You just feel like you're going to screw it up. Okay, what I'm doing here is the one other way you can manipulate time. You can't go backwards, but you can slow it down. And that is so helpful when you're playing these huge dungeons and stuff. But for now, I'm just going to use it to make the following the most crucial part of this subplot, and the part that really makes your heart just explode with nervousness, make it easier to play. Because if time is slowed down, it's kind of hard with... It's actually really very difficult with time at normal speed, so if you cheat and kind of slow it down, you'll be fine. Running in place, running in place. You may have noticed the character's like randomly running in place every time you switch areas, and that's because, you know, it's all time-based, so they have to do this awkward thing where if time's going to stop for you to change an area, so do they. So they just do a walk cycle, and it's kind of random. Into cavern. Open sesame. Ah! Look, there's a mask there. It's the sun's mask. See, he's a retard. Okay, how could you not see that enormous switch right in the middle of the floor? Now I've done it. What was I saying about the Japanese liking juxtapositions? I zoomed through this. It's not important. He just says step on the switch. Because I was zooming through it because I was really freaking nervous that that thing was still moving, which I believe it is actually. The mask is still moving during that. Oh yeah, this is like the only... I could be wrong. Up to this point, I know it was. And you're going to see the mask is destined to fall into the vault of our thief here. So we gotta hurry our little butts up. We don't want this conveyor belt. Why is there a conveyor belt in the Middle Ages? I don't know. It's fantasy. Shove. If we don't want this conveyor belt to let the mask get away. That's no good. This isn't the switch. Go check that room. There's no time. I don't like him, but is there a choice? Should we help him? Not moving ahead of the face of danger when you know it's for the best is like Tail. Let's go. Tail's her brother, which is, you know, they have kind of a funny relationship. Although he doesn't show up pretty much at all because he stays with Skull Kid and she goes with you. And, okay, the yellow switch is slow, though. Conveyor belt down. That's good. Don't want to step on the red ones because they speed it up. And they speed it up so much that it just pretty much shoots right to the... Even at slow speed, shoots right to the end. And you will have lost. What was I saying about Kafei speaking formally earlier? The Japanese kind of find it funny when they like a child speaks like an adult or adult speaks like a child, etc. So it might have been kind of a source for a little chuckle if he really is very formal when he speaks and he kind of looks like a brat. I don't know. And as you can see, I'm terrible with puzzles. I was actually frigging out here, really not wanting to do this whole subplot again, because if the mask falls into the pit at the end, Seikon laughs evilly and locks down the entire room. And you can get out because you have the warp point powers. But Kafei kind of spends his time in there, and it's really depressing. He talks about how he's going to die in there, and just, I will wait here, you know, and you may never see me again. If you have a way to get out, you should. And how he's going to kind of die locked in this cavern and never see Anju again. And it's really depressing. Thankfully, that did not happen. I beat it the first time. Okay, that Wolfos disappeared, and it really pissed me off, because I was like, oh crap, I gotta kill this thing, and I cannot kill it if it moves there. Die! I hate you, die! Run! I'm stuck. Weep. And that speeds up the conveyor belt, which freaked me out, because I didn't want it to speed up. But, thankfully, as you can see here, I win the day, and that does not happen. And he gets his engagement ring, sun mask back. I got the sun's mask back. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. There's still time. I must get back to town. You may notice I'm not very articulate in real life when I'm actually just talking off the cuff. This is all one take, so I have a tendency to just mix up my words and stutter a little bit. I don't know why I stutter. I'm rambling. So there he goes. Yes, the world is going to end in 6 minutes.